My goodness, you cannot make this stuff up. So Pastor Jamal, goodness gracious, he is at it again. Now, mind you, a couple weeks ago, I had the chance to sit there and talk to him for like a quick 5 minutes. He was on another podcast and they brought me on, and I was trying to see what kind of energy, he was going to have, but he was, very diplomatic, and, he was very respectful. So there was no reason for me to get crazy with him. But man, I wish he would have kept the kind of energy that I see on Instagram. So if you haven't heard, he's calling for a 40-day fast, all right, from Target. Is that even a thing? Can you fast Target? I've, been pastoring for a while now, and people say, well, pastor, I'm fasting TV. I'm fasting this, I'm fasting that. I'm fasting my favorite dessert. I'm fasting my kids. And so, people will come up with all these things that they're fasting, but food. And isn't it crazy, guys? Like, you could wake up and get so busy with work, get so busy with life that you'll be like, man, it's 3, 4, 5 o'clock. I haven't even ate yet. But then when you wake up and you say, you know what, today I'm going to fast, I'm not going to eat. It's like you feel that thing, man. Your stomach is just rumbling, grumbling. Everybody wants to bring food to work. The boss is offering to take everybody out to lunch and order in. It's crazy. So the Bible says, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. But listen, everybody wants to fast everything but food. And so Philip Anthony Mitchell, he has a little clip that I'm going to play for you guys. I'm going to play the Jamal Bryant clip. And there's also another Pastor Rev I'm going to play talking a little bit about the DEI stuff because of, Jamal's whole standpoint of why they're 40-day fast, like, some Moses stuff. And so if you don't know who Jamal Bryant is, I've done several videos on him through the years. He was definitely a Kamala guy, had her at the church. He wanted to grow weed in the church. He's very, very like pro-black. Like he's, like another version of Al Sharpton. Now, the one thing I'll say about him is, at least, I mean, he does stuff in the black community. I'm gonna say that, you know what I'm saying? But I disagree pretty much with everything else about him. I think he idolizes just black culture. He puts culture over kingdom, and that's a big problem that we have in the black church. There's this thing you would call it culture Christianity, right? Just like you have a lot of people in the Latino community who are Catholic, and they don't even, my family's Catholic, and it's just like something you do. There is a such thing as culture Christianity, where, black people, we just go to church, but we're not really living it. We're not really changing it, changing and transforming, or being set apart from the world. So with that being said, let's dive in. I want to play the clips. I don't want to get too long-winded here. I'll give my spill at the end, but the Bible definitely talks about, complete fasting, abstaining from food and water, and then partial fasting, which we used to call that a denial when I was growing up. But I'm going to play Philip Anthony Mitchell's clip after we play Jamal's clip, and then a couple other clips we're going to play. So this will be pretty informative. First, let's start with this. All right, when you're talking about the DEI and all that kind of stuff, listen to this quick 1-minute clip from this Medea looking man. This is a trans man right here.
Shut this entire city down. Not on our watch. Because what they will try to do, they will try to separate us. They will kick the trans people off the bus. They're kicking the indigenous people off the bus. They're kicking our intersex community off the bus. Our two-sphere plus family, they're kicking them off the bus. They just want a membership LGBT bus. Well, guess what, babe? That LGBT bus, it's not going to have any gas. It won't have any tires. Y'all not going any far. Because we are a community that is made and has been woven with the fire and the spirit of revolution. Revolution! Revolution!
Dia is angry.
So the people that are not here with us, we will take note. It's not that cold.
I'm saying this before they got a new FBI chief that calls us a terrorist organization. We doing it in decency and in order. Target, you got 40 days to pull it together.
I mean, like, I didn't mean to just stop the clip, but it's so fun. When I commented on Jamal's Instagram, I'm like, bro, where was this energy when we were on the podcast together? You know, I only got like 5 minutes with him, but it just, sometimes I laugh because, you know, I grew up in black church and, you know, the hooping, the hollering, and I know some stuff, you know, about Jamal. You know, I got friends from Baltimore, pastor friend. I'm not going to say everything that I do know, but it's just funny to me, just the energy and the passion that he has toward Target, but not everything else. Like when Target had the little outfit where you could, you know, it was made for boys who believe they're girls, and you could tuck your private parts to the side, and they put that whole, he didn't have a problem with that. He had no issues, you know, with all the LGBTQ stuff and the wicked you know, doll that had the pornography site. When you looked at the bottom of the box, it was actually a site. He didn't have a problem with that, but this, oh man, let's just play it.
Because you made a commitment after the death of George Floyd that you would invest $2 billion into the black community before, watch this, December of 2025. So you to pull out of that commitment in January, you are reneging to the financial commitment you
some red tomato beads
made to our people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. You got 40 days before we shut all of it down. We are calling all of the stock.
I just noticed he got it on his right wrist too, some big old black beads.
Holders to be accountable to the commitment that you made to black people. Y'all ain't saying nothing. And I got naysayers saying, won't you just preach the gospel? I'm preaching the gospel. Jesus kicked over tables and used the whip to drive people out when they were out of order.
The thing is, sometimes, you know, obviously, you know, a broke clock can be right twice a day. He'll say some stuff and it's like, you know, I get what you're saying. But it's like, bro, all the stuff that Target had going on, you didn't have a problem with, but this you have a problem with. And then to top it off, they're misinformed about the whole DEI thing.
In handling God's people.
The movement is moving. Recently, I called for a 40-day fast on Target. Question that keeps coming up is why you fast? Because I believe that this is going to be a spiritual undertaking. There was a moment where the disciples.
So, you know, that's what we're about to get into. Is it really a fast? Because, okay, is it really hurting your flesh? Because, okay, I don't go to Target. I just go to Walmart instead. So how is that a fast? Really, Jamal, you're calling for a protest, trying to make it sound spiritual, a 40-day fast against Target. This is going to be a spiritual battle. How is that a fast? The fast is to make your flesh hurt, to move the veil out of the flesh, move the veil of the flesh out of the way so you can be more in tune in the spirit and hear from God and hear more clearly. It's all about dying the flesh. So when people say, "Oh, you know, I'm fasting TV," that's weak. That is a weak fast, right? Food is what's gonna hurt you. Food is what's gonna make your flesh, and that's the point. So people be wanting to say they're fasting, and is it really just hurting your flesh? Because okay, we're fasting Target, but we'll still go to Walmart or wherever they choose to go.
Disciples of Jesus tried to cast out an evil spirit, and they couldn't because Jesus said they didn't fast. I want to fast because what is the attack that is coming against minority people in this country has got to be pushed back. So it's not just don't go to Target. It's don't go to Target and pray and study and ask for the assistance of God. So when it is that you register for the fast, I'm sending you a 40-day devotional because we begin on March the 5th.
Understand his mentality. He believes that this whole DEI thing is like, it's a real attack, and Target is like, you know, now they're going against black people and not keeping their commitments. So, you know, we need to fast against this, that they change their mind.
Another question that is asked about the Target fast.
Okay, let's just skip.
I will send you before the fast starts an electronic directory of almost 3 You can fast and you can support.
For the uninformed, what is fasting? It's not getting rid of just social media. That's a lazy fast. It's not just getting rid of music. That's a punk fast. Okay? Biblical fasting is the abstinence from food for a period of time for the sake of consecrating the heart to grow closer to God through prayer.
I don't know who put that creepy music in the back, but you guys know I don't vouch for a lot of pastors that I can trust and say publicly, but I like Philip Anthony Mitchell. He preaches like us here at Firehouse. He talks like us. You know what I'm saying? A couple other people I know, he believes in holiness. Holiness is important, but you hear what he's saying. He said that's a punk fast. I like that.
Period of time for the sake of consecrating the heart to grow closer to God through prayer. It's not a hunger strike. It is the denial of the thing the flesh wants most, food and pleasure.
So, like I said, you can fast Target, but still go somewhere else, right? And so, I'll let this clip.
No food, no sex. No food, no social media. No food, no fill in the blank. It is telling this flesh, I have authority over you. God, I like the way that feels, right, Carlina?
Point is, it's about killing the flesh. Now, let's get into the whole DEI thing real quick, all right?
Captain and exposes DEI in under 3 minutes.
On Thursday night, I mentioned the first wolf, which is Reverend Al Sharpton. A wolf if there's never been a wolf before. Used to be a big wolf. He's leading a buy-in at Costco because of the DEI conversation. There are lies saying now that blacks will no longer have protections under the law and they're getting rid of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. You can't do so unless you have support from the House, the Senate, and then the president. There are checks and balances that must be meted out. Amen, somebody. But what is going on, we're trying to rewire and reposition some of the mess that President Barack Obama got us in when he expanded the LBJ executive order that was drafted in 1965. He made it acceptable for transgenders and people who practice sexually deviant behaviors to receive not civil rights, but to be codified in an area where they have special rights.
Woo! Come on, that's it right there.
And so what we're doing now is trying to make sure that when you go to work, and if you're a business owner, you don't hire somebody who shows up Monday as a...
I've been warning about this for 10 years, right? Since Obama was president. Even when I was in the Army, I got in trouble for talking about Obama and the LGBTQ stuff, right? Love is love. And we opened that door and it went, and they try to compare it to, the Black Civil Rights Movement. That's why you had the whole Black Lives Matter website, right? Mixed in with the whole LGBTQ propaganda. Remember when I pulled up the Black Lives Matter website and it was like, we reject the Western society's view of the family, right? And then they were talking about cisgender this and cisgender that. And so part of the demonic strategy was to take that victimhood and the things that happened that were terrible in the Black community and couple it with the LGBTQ community to make it like it was something similar. And it went from civil rights to special rights. And that's why you saw Medea at the beginning of this video going crazy. So with this whole DEI thing, remember the thing that they were arguing about in the schools where they were talking about they're taking away the curriculum about Black history and things like that down in Florida. No, they were taking away all the LGBTQ stuff that was being put. It's a lot of misinformation out there.
Man, but by Friday he's a full-blown woman, and you got to sit there and watch that tranny mess up your business, and if you fire him you'll be sued. That's what's going on. We're trying to make sure that books like this, a book entitled Worm Loves Worm, which teaches kids about same-sex marriage. We're trying to make sure that our kids don't get mentally raped.
And I love this. This is another pastor. Like, there are some African-American pastors out there that are standing on business that haven't fallen for that woke agenda, that aren't putting, culture over kingdom.
That's in their mind. But instead, too many black folk are on this campaign that we're losing our rights. We're not losing our rights. Matter of fact, we don't appreciate the rights that we do have. We have a right to be born. And we don't appreciate that right. That's why since 1973, 20 million of us are missing.
The Black Lives Matters movement, founded by 3 lesbian women who, at the end of the day, raised over $90 million. And not a single penny went to the descendants of George Floyd. However, they bought mansions and outfits and clothes and fingernails and hair extensions, and all of these various different things were purchased with that money, but none of the money went towards benefiting the black community. And so these people are called race hustlers and race baiters.
And so I played all that to just show you, to inform you, they're doing the same thing that they did the first time around. They twist stuff and they get people all upset. They exactly what they want, you know what I'm saying? With the whole DEI argument, if you really look into what's going on, it's not really what the media is trying to tell you it is, and not what Jamal Bryant is trying to tell you it is. And then, of course, just look at the messenger. Look at the people who are trying to tell you what it is, and look at the sides that are saying different things. That's why I played that clip from, that man of God, so you could hear it. It's a lot of false prophet media stuff to keep people brainwashed, to keep people believing lies, and people like Jamal Bryant, Al Sharpton, they fall for it, right? The big thing that they're really looking at is that forcing that LGBTQ stuff down our throats. And you know what? Let the best person get the job. The most qualified person get the job. All right. Now let's get into this little thing with the whole Ouija board stuff, and then we're done.
Have you read the Bible about adultery? So that if it's Chopin, it's okay. If it's Rick Ross, then give us Barabbas. So the whole thing on have life and have it more abundantly for what I'm going to call fundamental saints. We used to reduce to Jerry Falwell, but fundamental saints is go to church and go to the buffet.
So that's the other pastor's name. Y'all can look him up if you want.
That's a full life. Yeah. So the church has so shrunk wrapped your life that anything you do for enjoyment, for leisure, for pleasure, or for stress release is in fact frowned upon.
Yes.
So mind you, he was just talking about going on a fast from Target. And we just saw Philip Anthony Mitchell, and I just showed you what fasting is supposed to be. Now they're talking about, the church, they're so religious that, anything that is fun, anything that we do for leisure, it's a problem. And of course, we know that they're talking about worldly things, and the Bible makes it clear, come out from among them and be ye separate, take up your cross. So it's like, you can't have it both ways. This is the same pastor who wants to grow weed in the church, right? But he wants you to fast from Target. Clearly, he don't really understand the purpose of fasting.
Because fundamentalist Christianity colonizes everything it puts its hands on.
Wow.
So we have to make everything Christian.
Yes.
Right. So you can't just go out to the club. You need to go to the Christian club.
Yes.
You can't just, you can't just use a Ouija board. You need to get a Christian Ouija board.
Well, let me just address, you heard what he said about a Christian Ouija board. It is weird. He said DI does not put unqualified individuals into jobs. Yes, but it then forces people, right? I don't care about Hollywood. I don't care about none of this stuff. But one of the things that I saw, to give you an example, is like you have to have so many gay people, so many black people, so many Latino people, so many these people, that people represented, or you're not qualified for the awards. And so the issue with that is, look, just let people hire the most qualified person. because when you start going down that slope, right? Well, you need to hire this person because of their skin color, right? So now let's say I have a person that's more qualified for the job and I'm picking between two people, but now you tell me I have to have an LGBTQ person. That's really more so what it's about than as so much black or white. We have a lot of successful African American people in America. We've got a lot of successful Latino Americans in America, right? And it's crazy. Like, I mean, even if you just want to look at all these millionaires that complaining and acting like America's so miserable, you got these people protesting, right, with the flags of other countries, of countries they don't want to go back to, right? It's kind of crazy. And so that's why it's an issue. Now, if we find somebody who's clearly discriminating and being racist, then let's deal with it. It's that easy. Like if someone is getting you know, you didn't get hired because you're black. And this is the other flip side of it. Hey, guess what? God gonna deal with it too. God will deal with every racist. But the reality is we've opened this door and now it's just a mess. Because they were even trying to have you hire LGBTQ people at your church. And if you don't hire LGBTQ people at your church, then the LGBTQ people could sue you for discrimination. That's why they're trying to do away with this whole DI thing. It's not like, oh, we are attacking black people. We're going back to the slave days. That's not what's happening. That's misinformation. Anyways, let's run this back.
To the club, you need to go to the Christian club.
Yes.
You can't just you can't just use a Ouija board. You need to get a Christian Ouija board, right? You can't just do things you can't just go to the comedy show. You got to go to the Christian comedy show. And I don't have any problem with these Christian spaces.
You hear what they're saying? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You don't see Jamal rebuking him or nothing. So essentially what you're saying is, I want to be able to go to a regular comedy show, the cussing, being filthy, right? I want to be able to go to a worldly concert, listen to secular music. I don't want the Christian version. We don't need to make everything Christian, right? That's pretty much what he's saying.
But when you lift them up as a standard and everything else is demonic, then I got a problem with you, because now you are demonizing people who are simply trying to live their life and they're not hurting nobody. And I want fundamentalist Christians to leave people alone is what I want.
Wow. Listen,
which is what is that? Itching ears. I want you to leave me alone. Stop telling me that I'm not a Christian. Stop telling me that I have to come out from the world and be separate. Stop telling me that I have to be holy as he is holy. And if you're not holy, you will not see the Lord. Stop telling me about they have a form of godliness, but deny the power thereof. Stop telling me that there will be doctrines of devils, seducing spirits, a great falling away, and that people would have itching ears. Stop telling me that many will say, Lord, Lord, I did this in your name. I told the people to go on a 40-day fast from Target, and the Lord's going to say, depart from me. I never knew you. I didn't ask you to tell the people to go on a 40-day fast from Target. Talk to them about sin. Talk to them about being carnal. Talk to them about being worldly. This is what I'm talking about when I say in the black community, we have a culture Christianity, in the same way that in the Latino community, a lot of people are Catholic just because it's culturally the thing to do. So it's like, yeah, I know about Jesus. I go to church, but my lifestyle is just completely worldly, completely carnal, and it's dangerous. All right.
I heard one preacher espouse the values of Trump because he doesn't drink. I was like, that means all of his decisions are sober.
Right.
He's sober man making the decision.
So for those of you who came in late, I'm just going to play the clip from the beginning. You can see the clip from Philip Anthony Mitchell and then the other clips and all that stuff that I posted in between. I don't want this video to go too long, but this is a big reason of why DEI is a thing. Look at Medea right here.
This entire city down. Not on our watch. Because what they will try to do, they will try to separate us. They will kick the trans people off the bus. They're kicking the indigenous people off the bus. They're kicking our intersex community off the bus. Our two-sphere plus family, they're kicking them off the bus. They just want a membership LGBT bus. Well, guess what, babe? That LGBT bus.
I talked about all this in the beginning of the video. I don't want to reiterate that. But like I said, Target has done a lot of demonic stuff. Target has like I said, they had the little outfit where it was targeted towards children, where if you were a boy and you wanted to wear like a little girl bikini, they had the little thing where you could tuck your parts to the side. We had the Wicked doll with the what do you call it? The pornography website, the link to that, like so many other things through the years. But now you want to protest Target, and really you say you want to do a 40-day fast, but is it a fast? Not biblically. Just so you know, if you're curious, if you want some verses about fasting, Matthew 6:16 through 18 talks about fasting and not letting everybody know and looking gloomy like, oh, I'm fasting. Joel 2:12. Daniel 10:3, Ezra 8:23, Isaiah 58:6, Acts 13:2, Psalms 69:10, Acts 14:23. The point of fasting is to move the veil of the flesh out of the way so you can be more in tune in the spirit. And so what a real fast is, abstaining from food and water, that's a complete fast for a certain period of time, or what we used to call a denial when I was young. You could say, okay, I'm just going to eat salads, I'm just going to eat fruit, and your flesh is going to feel that and you will reap the spiritual benefits. Talking about I'm fasting Target, but then you just go to Walmart for everything you need, that's not really hurting your flesh. A fast is going to make your flesh hurt. A fast is to bring your flesh under subjection. So www.marcusrogersministries.org if you want to support what we're doing here in Chicago. I would greatly appreciate it. I need new cameras. I would like to get a screen. And I'm going to boldly ask for help because people giving millions of dollars to all these other mega ministries. Why not? I got to stop being shy about asking. I will be in Florida, in Orlando, Saturday night, preaching at Richard Lorenzo's church. So I'm excited to be there. Feel free to come stop by and see us. God bless you all. Love you all. Have a wonderful evening. If you have any prayer requests, feel free to put them in the comment section.